Hi, Eliana. Nice to see that you have submitted your first set of essays to us. Great to see you working so hard. So let's take a look at what you wrote. The first one is about schools and whether they need to only educate or if they should be more entertaining. So here's what you said about that. Some people may argue that schools should focus solely on academia, while others believe it should include more enjoyable activities. I strongly believe the inclusion of extracurricular activities supports conventional education, helps to maintain the children's physical and mental health. All right, so this is very good. Um, you've got some nice language here, some nice vocabulary, but there are a couple of mistakes that I would like to look at. So take a look at this. Here you refer to schools, plural, but here you have it. So it really should be they should include more enjoyable activities. Okay. Um, the inclusion of extracurricular activities supports conventional education. Did you want to put a comma here? I wasn't really sure about that. I wasn't really sure what you were trying to say here. So the inclusion of extracurricular activities supports conventional education and helps to maintain children's physical and mental health. Maybe this is what you meant. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is your decision to use extracurricular activities here. This is something that a lot of people do. Some people do it successfully and some people do it with a little less success. I want you to remember that the key word here is entertaining. So what do we mean when we say that schools need to be more entertaining? All right, we mean more enjoyable, more lighthearted, more fun, more funny, um, just entertaining us. So um, it's very possible, I'm not saying that you did this, but you have to be careful when you talk about extracurricular activities because some extracurricular activities can be interesting, they can be challenging, they can be rewarding, but they're not necessarily entertaining. Okay, so I just want to point that out. You were definitely right here when you used this expression, enjoyable activities, but the reason I mention this is because an examiner is going to look at this and say, okay, well, extracurricular activities, maybe, okay, if you're talking about entertainment. Okay, so let's move on and see what you actually said in the following paragraphs. Firstly, there are a number of benefits associated with extracurricular activities, such as playing video games. It can be observed that those who spent some time on game consoles develop active skills and spatial awareness, skills that cannot be acquired with formal school education. For example, studies conducted by the University of Alabama show that children who spend at least 1 hour a day in such activity are capable of focusing during academic classes in comparison with peers. Therefore, the inclusion of electronic game devices enhances students, you need an apostrophe at the end of this S, intellectual capacity. All right, now, what you're suggesting here, there's a couple of things that are a little strange here. Are you suggesting that schools include video games in their curriculum? Because that's what it sounds like. On the other hand, you're talking about extracurricular activities. So while the grammar and the vocabulary that you've used here are really quite nice, they really are. Um, there's something about the way the ideas are all combined that just don't seem entirely right. So like I said, first of all, you're talking about extracurricular activities, which doesn't fit into this idea of schools because we're concerned with more what's going on during the school day and not what's happening after school, okay? And then also the suggestion about playing video games doesn't really quite make sense too. So basically, I kind of feel like you've confused this essay with the other one, which is talking about, better skill development and more creativity. So, yeah, I do have some issues with this. All right. Anyway, let's move on to the next paragraph and see what you said there. Secondly, the inclusion of activities such as sports in the curriculum not only aids in keeping pupils fit and active, but also assists, you need an S, in the development of cognitive and physical abilities. Full stop. New sentence. This may be due to the fact that performing these activities, plural, allows learners to interact with their peers, which lets, S, them explore other capabilities. For instance, recent World Health Organization studies indicate that performing a sport while studying improves academic performance and allows to create bonds with others. Thus, schools should be more flexible with their curriculums and include more entertaining activities in order to assist with students, apostrophe after the S, intellectual abilities. All right, now I felt a little better about this paragraph, but still there's not this idea of entertainment. So again, I kind of feel like you're developing this essay instead, really talking about how skills are developed and how they create bonds and so forth. But I'm not getting this sense of entertainment. So what am I trying to say? I'm saying that when we talk about entertainment, we talk about, playing games in the classroom, okay? Or, things like role play in the classroom, or even like watching movies and so forth in the classroom. So these are things that could be considered entertaining activities because they have this element of entertainment. For a lot of people, sport is, they like it, but it's competitive. It, gives them a rush of adrenaline. But I don't know that the first word people would use to describe playing sports is necessarily entertaining. Do you see the difference? All right. This is one of those areas where IELTS is really kind of testing your vocabulary to see if your understanding of these words and of these terms is accurate. All right. So again, it was well written, but there are some problems with the task achievement. Let's move on. To conclude, non-educational activities give, no S, the opportunity to explore other areas, develop and learn new skills that cannot be taught, comma, allowing learners to socialize, acquire abilities, and expand their minds. Okay, that's fine. So I think I've been pretty clear about what some of the strengths and some of the weaknesses are of this essay. This is pretty typical, and I'm glad that we're touching on the subject now about how important it is to really make sure that you understand some of those keywords in the task. Really think about them and analyze them. So that we can, begin to write an essay that is absolutely on topic. Why don't we take a look now at your second task, which is the enjoyable activity with a child. Let's see. Introducing reading habits at an early age of life may be helpful with the development of brain functioning. However, practicing a more entertaining activity, such as painting, dancing, or a sport, are useful. Is useful. It's an entertaining activity, and then you've got these examples, is useful in the development of essential skills and creativity of children. I strongly believe that practicing the aforementioned activities develops, you need an S here because it's practicing is your noun, a range of skills that are necessary for a child's future. All right, little grammatical mistakes, but other than that, lovely. Firstly, reading has several benefits that aid cognitive development. However, having another leisure interest like drawing or painting plays, again, as an important role in creative thinking. Full stop, new sentence. This is largely because performing such activities encourages, again, because it's performing, encourages children to think outside. What does that mean, to think outside? Do you mean outside the box? Get inspired and creative. For instance, a creative journal showed in 2011 that 70% of children who performed well in school were enrolled in activities where they could develop their creativity. Consequently, the inclusion of a pleasant activity could be more effective than reading, where children can explore and learn while having fun. Lovely. This is really nice. That was good. And I like that you spent an entire paragraph on creativity. That was good. Okay. Secondly, practicing a group sport is useful for the development of spatial, that's with a T, not a C, spatial awareness and communication skills. Full stop. New sentence. This is because it is necessary. No. This is because the movement of the body and an object in a limited space is necessary. This is strange. I don't really understand this expression. Spatial awareness and communication skills. This is because, I'm reading it again, sorry. This is because it is necessary. I don't understand. I'm really not sure what you're trying to say. I know you're you're talking about spatial awareness, but it's not clear to me. All right, so let's see. For instance, recent studies have shown that people who passed their driving test are enrolled in some kind of group sport. Therefore, the correlation between spatial awareness and group sports is obvious. You forgot the rest of your sentence here, all right? Because this by itself is not a sentence. To conclude, parents as well as schools should incorporate fun pastime is one word, pastime activities, as this plays an important role in the development of a wide range of skills as well as creativity. It is predicted that education will include more enjoyable activities due to the benefits that this brings to the development of youngsters' S apostrophe critical skills that benefit them in the future. All right, that's lovely. That's very nice. Okay, so I felt a lot better about this essay. I think you handled it better. If I had to say which one was stronger, it would definitely be this one. I think you did a good job. You were at 279 words, which is fine. I think that one thing I would have liked is I would have liked a little more development of this paragraph. I think it just felt a little like there was more to say. And even if you look at the length, you can see that this is at least a couple of lines longer. So that's something I want you to think about. The great news here is that you are using the template really nicely. I thought you did a very nice job of applying it, particularly in this essay. A lot was really good. I want you to be careful with some of these basic grammar errors. So things with subject verb agreement, like putting the right S on, and when not to put it, and there were errors like that I want you to be careful of, particularly because they are considered kind of basic mistakes. Okay. And an examiner will be more lenient with higher level mistakes. Okay, so more complex grammar, but less so with these simple grammatical mistakes. So I want you to watch out for them. All right, all in all, congratulations on your first set. You did a very nice job. So now let's talk about what your next steps are. The first step is to correct these based on the suggestions in this video. Return them to us. With the corrected essays, you need to send us your error correction list with the mistakes written, and then next to the mistakes what the corrected version would be. And then, of course, a new set of essays. Okay, try to send us all 3 things within the next day or so you can keep up your momentum and apply everything you've been learning. So we'll be waiting for them. Good luck, and keep on writing.